Okay, so this next reading, which I don't think I'll be able to finish tonight, but I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I don't think I don't even know how long it is. But there's like a ton of words on these pages, so I definitely don't think I'll be able to finish it. Especially because it's 11:28. But yeah, so this next reading is also from the Norton Anthology World Literature book that Popol Vuh is from, which is this one. And this reading is the next story in the book. I skipped all like the introductory stuff, but this story is from China and it's called Monkey. So yeah, part 1 of Monkey, which starts on page 41. So from Monkey, chapter 1. There was a rock that since the creation of the world had been worked upon by the pure essences of heaven and the fine savours of earth, the vigour of sunshine and the grace of moonlight, till at last it became magically pregnant and one day split open, giving birth to a stone egg about as big as a playing ball. Fructified by the wind, it developed into a stone monkey, complete with every organ and limb. At once this monkey learned to climb and run, but its first act was to make a bow towards each of the 4 quarters. As it did so, a steely light darted from the monkey's eyes and flashed as far as the palace of the pole star. This shaft of light astonished the Jade Emperor, as he sat in the cloud palace of the Golden Gates, in the treasure hall of the holy mists, surrounded by his fairy ministers. Seeing this strange light flashing, he ordered Thousand League Eye and Down the Wind Ears to open the gate of the southern heaven and look out. At his bidding, these 2 captains went out to the gate and looked so sharply and listened so well that presently they were able to report. This steely light comes from the borders of the small country of Ao Lai that lies to the east of the holy continent, from the mountain of flowers and fruit. On this mountain is a magic rock which gave birth to an egg. This egg changed into a stone monkey, and when he made his bow to the 4 quarters, a steely light flashed from his eyes with a beam that reached the palace of the pole star. But now he is taking a drink and the light is growing dim. The Jade Emperor condescended to take an indulgent view. These creatures in the world below, he said, were compounded of the essence of heaven and earth, and nothing that goes on there should surprise us. That monkey walked, ran, leapt, and bounded over the hills, feeding on grasses and shrubs, drinking from streams and springs, gathering the mountain flowers, looking for fruits. Wolf, panther, and tiger were his companions. The deer and civet were his friends, gibbons and baboons his kindred. At night he lodged under cliffs of rock. By day he wandered among the peaks and caves. One very hot morning, after playing in the shade of some pine trees, he and the other monkeys went to bathe in a mountain stream. See how those waters bounce and tumble like rolling melons. There is an old saying, birds have their bird language, beasts have their beast talk. The monkeys said, we none of us know where this stream comes from, as we have nothing to do this morning. Wouldn't it be fun to follow it up to its source? With a whoop of joy, dragging their sons and carrying their daughters, calling out to younger brother and to elder brother, the whole troop rushed along the stream side and scrambled up the steep places till they reached the source of the stream. They found themselves standing before the curtain of a great waterfall. All the monkeys clapped their hands and cried aloud, lovely water, to think that it starts far off in some cavern below the base of the mountain and flows all the way to the great sea. If any of us were bold enough to pierce that curtain, get to where the water comes from, and return unharmed, we would make him our king." 3 times the call went out, when suddenly one of them leapt from among the throng and answered the challenge in a loud voice. It was the stone monkey. "I will go," he cried. "I will go. Look at him. He screws up his eyes and crouches. Then at one bound he jumps straight through the waterfall. When he opened his eyes and looked about him, he found that where he had landed there was no water. A great bridge stretched in front of him, shining and glinting. When he looked closely at it, he saw that it was made all of burnished iron. The water under it flowed through a hole in the rock, filling in all the space under the arch. Monkey climbed up onto the bridge and, spying as he went, saw something that looked just like a house. There were stone seats and stone couches and tables with stone bowls and cups. He skipped back to the hum of the bridge and saw that on the cliff there was an inscription in large square writing, which said, "This cave of the water curtain in the blessed land of the mountain of flowers and fruit leads to heaven." Monkey was beside himself with delight. He rushed back and again crouched, shut his eyes, and jumped through the curtain of water. "A great stroke of luck," he cried, "a great stroke of luck." "What is it like on the other side?" asked the monkeys, crowding round him. "Is the water very deep?" "There is no water," said Stone Monkey. "There is an iron bridge, and at the side of it a heaven-sent place to live in." What made you think it would do to live in?" asked the monkeys. "The water," said the Stone Monkey, "flows out of a hole in the rock, filling in the space under the bridge. At the side of the bridge are flowers and trees, and there is a chamber of stone. Inside are stone tables, stone cups, stone dishes, stone couches, stone seats. We could really be very comfortable there. There's plenty of room for hundreds and thousands of us, young and old. Let us all go and live there. We shall be splendidly sheltered in every weather." "You go first and show us how," cried the monkeys, in great delight. Once more he closed his eyes and was through at one bound. "Come along, all of you," he cried. The bolder of them jumped at once. The more timid stretched out their heads and then drew them back, scratched their eyes, rubbed their cheeks, and then, with a great shout, the whole mob leapt forward. Soon they were all seizing dishes and snatching cups, scrambling to the hearth or fighting for the beds, dragging things along or shifting them about, behaving indeed as monkeys, with their mischievous nature, might have been expected to do, never quite quiet for an instant, till at last they were thoroughly worn out. The Stone Monkey took his seat at the head of them and said, Gentlemen, with one whose word cannot be trusted, there is nothing to be done. You promised that any of us who managed to get through the waterfall and back again should be your king. I have not only come and gone and come again, but also found you a comfortable place to sleep, put you in the enviable position of being householders. Why do you not bow down to me as your king?" Thus reminded, the monkeys all pressed together the palms of their hands and prostrated themselves, drawn up in a line according to age, and standing and bowing humbly, they cried, "Great King, 1,000 years!" After this, the Stone Monkey discarded his old name and became king, with the title Handsome Monkey King. He appointed various monkeys, gibbons, and baboons to be his ministers and officers. By day they wandered around the mountain of flowers and fruit. At night they slept in the cave of the water curtain. They lived in perfect sympathy and accord, not mingling with bird or beast, in perfect independence and entire happiness.